All right, welcome everybody back to another edition of Chairgatin. I'm your host, Rattlesnake, coming at you live from Austin, Texas. I'm joined once again by my co-host, Dakota, who has gotten weirdly, somehow more ugly.
Thanks, Dick.
What's up, Colton? Dakota couldn't be here, so of course I call up Colton. He's our go-to guy. So he's filling in for Dakota. So attractiveness went down, but IQ has gone dramatically up. So there's some give and take there.
There's got to be some points for the mullet, though. I mean,
definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
So we're happy to have you. We are going to talk about New Hampshire and just a shit ton of silly season. Let's get right into it. What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in.
Rock flag and eagle. My Chihuahua's barking in the background, so if you hear a big ferocious bark, that's probably going to be my Chihuahua. Just a heads up. So Colton, thanks for coming on. I know you're busy over there with your actual podcast you have going on.
Yeah, my big boy job.
Yeah, you can go ahead and give them a shout out right
now.
Yes,
check out Fan Fuel. We just recorded a pretty long episode last night. We talked about all the safety rumors that were going on in NASCAR. We talked about that horrid truck race in Knoxville. Kind of touched on all the weekend's activities, and then we talked about the Atlanta repave as well. If y'all listen to the podcast, not this last episode, but the one before it, we actually broke the news first. So cheers to Fan Fuel. Yeah.
Well, I can sum up that episode for my audience. If you're a pussy like Colton and you think seatbelts should be required by state law, then you'll agree with whatever his opinion was on that show. So there you go.
Seatbelts and then speed limits, nothing above 30 miles an hour. That's 100%. Yeah.
It takes you a really long time to get across your state. You know?
Yeah.
So I figured we can talk a little bit about New Hampshire. We haven't been there since last year when fans were not allowed to attend, so there's not much to say about it. Since we're kind of in the back half of the season now, we're going to a lot more tracks where we've already been, but we're here. We're in New Hampshire. Colton, are you a fan of Loudon? Do you like the races at New Hampshire?
No, not at all. I'm not. I'm a fan of flat tracks. I like Martinsville. There's a couple really good short tracks around the country that I'd like to see that are fairly flat. New Hampshire is just kind of in the middle. I mean, they put on great modified races, but I do not think the Cup Series puts on a good show there.
Okay. Well, that's our New Hampshire talk. There you go. Hope everybody enjoyed it. So what do you think about the reconfiguration for Atlanta with increasing their banks? Do you hate that since you don't like banking?
I don't mind the banking at all. I mean, there are some flat tracks that I really like. There's some high bank tracks that I really like. It just whatever puts on good racing. The only thing that I don't agree with about the repave and the reconfiguration is the narrowing of the track. I understand why they're trying to keep the same barriers in the track, and obviously if you have this and then you bring it up to here, you're either gonna have to bring the walls out or you're gonna have to narrow it to keep that same size, so to speak, for the seats and everything, so they didn't have to move those. So I get it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. That's been pretty much my takeaway the whole time.
Yeah.
Stop bitching until we see racing on it. So apparently Dakota is too busy to be on the podcast, but he is free enough to be watching. So thanks for tuning in, Dakota. I hope you enjoy your show. Yeah, so we're going to be going to New Hampshire this weekend. Not me and you physically, but NASCAR in general. And yeah, I think you kind of share the general consensus with a lot of people. We're not too excited about New Hampshire, I think, except for Dakota. He's excited about any race that NASCAR goes to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We played on him last night. I did mention that anytime Dakota goes to a race, it's the greatest fucking race of the year.
Yeah, 100%. It is, which makes him a very good person to attend races with. So anybody out there, if you get the chance to attend a race with Dakota, it will be a lot of fun. I don't think you'll be seeing him in New Hampshire anytime soon because that is just way out there. We were talking about this in the last episode. I'm like, when am I ever going to go to a New Hampshire race? I know you don't ever go to any races because you live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
But like, I thought I lived way out here until I talked to you. I
Yeah.
mean, being in Austin, Texas is not, granted, we have a race now, so I can't complain much anymore. But usually it was not a great place. You're in the middle of nowhere. You live in Wyoming. I mean, what's the closest track to you?
Kansas is the closest track. It's about 12 hours drive. I couldn't tell you the miles. We do everything in hours out here because we're so far away from goddamn everything.
That's what we do.
So, yeah, it's 12 hours away, 13 with, traffic and stops and everything.
That's actually not that bad.
It's not terrible, but you got to figure I'm driving 12 hours to go to fucking Kansas.
I mean, I do that every single year to go to Dago.
Yeah.
12-hour drive. It's 10 hours for me to Kansas. I go to that every year. So maybe we can meet up halfway in Kansas.
Hell yeah. That wouldn't be too bad.
Kansas is a very underrated place. It's a lot of fun. The racing's not that bad. It's gotten a lot better over the years, I think, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, if you can't tell, I'm trying to find other things to talk about other than New Hampshire.
Yeah, and that seems to be the kind of theme of the week. I haven't seen much post about New Hampshire on Twitter. Like normally leading up to a race, we see a whole bunch of shit about the track and memorable moments. And this week, it's really been quiet about New Hampshire. I think even NASCAR is like, why are we still going here?
Yeah. I mean, it's one race. Obviously, last week, one of the big talking points was the fact that not many people went to Atlanta. But that, I think a lot of it had to do with them adding an additional Atlanta race. Mm-hmm. So I think we still should see a pretty solid turnout in New Hampshire, just because it's the only race they have this year. I know there's some other races in the area, but I'm expecting a pretty solid turnout. If they don't get a solid turnout off one race a year, I mean, what's the point? What are we still doing here,
Yeah, I agree completely.
Usually, I like to do the picks towards the end. But I figured since we're spending the first part of the episode talking about New Hampshire, I mean, we might as well just talk about likely winners, and then we can feed right into picks. What do you think?
That sounds good. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Is there anybody that you think is a likely winner? Somebody that we haven't really been seeing up front, like a Brad K. Could he do a repeat here?
I don't know about Brad, just because I feel like he's kind of getting the shit end of the stick with Penske now. They know he's leaving. Why would you want to give him the good equipment, right? He hasn't been doing a whole lot this year anyway. I think they're just going to take all those resources and funnel them into Logano and Blaney and kind of start stripping stuff from Brad, because he's also going to be an owner now too. They probably don't want him seeing a ton of the stuff that they're doing and what makes him so much better over the competition at some of these places.
That is an interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know about Brad. I look at someone like Tyler Reddick. We were talking about him a little bit. That dude has been lighting it up. He's been so quick these last few weeks. He might sneak one out there, at least the top 5 or top 10.
Yeah, I agree. I've been hyped on Reddick even before they announced that he was coming on, just because I'm an RCR fan, obviously. And I knew Daniel Hemrick was never going to win a goddamn race. I don't care what equipment you put him in. He's not winning a race.
Thank you.
Right. I mean, he's really good at finding ways not to win races. He's just, I don't know. I was going to compare him to another driver, but I don't want to insult any other driver. And nothing against him. He seems like a nice guy, but he was never going to do it for RCR. I mean, I think it shows, because he won Rookie of the Year after he was already told he's losing his Cup ride. I mean, that's
right. Yeah, and I think the thing is too, like, he's in Gibbs Xfinity equipment, which is like the cream of the crop, other than that 22 car every week. And if you still find a way to shit the bed every week, there's probably something wrong with that nut that connects the pedals of the steering wheel.
Yeah, when he was in the Cup, he was averaging like in the 20s every race. Like, he wasn't doing it. So I was always excited for Reddick to come up, because I know how talented he is, and he's a ballsy driver, which I like. But yeah, I agree. I think this is a race that he could click off another top 5. I don't know. If he gets a win, that'd be fucking awesome. But I think, looking for another top 5 for him would be really badass. He's already pretty much solidified his spot in the playoffs, I think. I mean, I think at this point we just need to see somebody else win outside that.
Yeah.
I don't see much else happening there. But also, another person that might have a chance here that's been getting a lot of shit, which we're going to talk about him a lot in a little bit, is Matty D. He finished what? He finished 6th here last year.
Mm-hmm.
Could this be? I mean, could he do the same thing and kind of show the haters like, hey, I still got it?
I mean, look at what he did right after he found out who's losing his ride with the 95 car. He went out that very next race and got second at Bristol and damn near won the thing. And Bristol's another track kind of like Loudon where he'll sneak a top 10 out every once in a while. He'll kind of run up front for most of the race. So, I mean, light a fire under his ass. Let's see if Dibby can pull one out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you think that Larson is going to win again, or do you think we're starting to see a little bit of him slowing down?
He's going to win again soon. I don't know if this is the week, though.
So I know you're a big conspiracy guy, right? Because you live in Wyoming, so you have to be.
Well, Wyoming doesn't exist, so
just look at you. I mean, you're a conspiracy guy through and through. What about this as a conspiracy? I feel like every year it happens where there's 1 or 2 drivers dominating, like the first half or for a good chunk, right? A month to 2 months just dominating. And then they start to kind of slow down a little bit and don't click off any more wins while some other guys take over. Is there a conspiracy there?
I don't think so.
Come on. You can't find a conspiracy there?
I don't think it's a conspiracy because I think it's the truth. So
right.
in the 90s, it was reported, it's official that Mark Martin has come out and said that when he was on his super hot streak, NASCAR told him to slow down and quit stinking up the show. If they're in the entertainment business, like they keep saying every single week, I don't see why they wouldn't tell Hendrick and Larson, hey, you guys need to fucking knock it off, run 6th a couple weeks, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it seems like it's going. And if it was just this occasion right now, I don't think I would ever question it. But it just seems like this happens every single year, you know, where we get chunks of drivers just dominating and then they stop dominating for a little bit. They'll still get top 10 finishes, you know. They solidified their spot in the playoffs and they'll probably still win. But we start to see guys like Harvick and Kyle Busch and, you know, some other guys come up and start to win a lot more. So it's almost like making a prediction like, will Kyle Larson win? It's almost more like, when will NASCAR allow him to win again is more of the prediction I have to look at when I'm thinking of Kyle Larson. Because if it's not Kyle Larson, it's going to be Kyle Busch, pretty much. Those are like the 2 guys. It's almost like NASCAR is deciding, okay, Kyle Busch needs to win here for a while. All right, you've won 4, Busch. Now let's go back to Larson or Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems that way. Another thing is we heard a rumor at the beginning of the year, or kind of, I guess, mid-season, and we heard it from DBC that Hendrick had upwards of 16 extra horsepower under the hood, and that's why we saw them rattle off so many good finishes right in a row. I'm wondering if NASCAR didn't catch on to that, or maybe the other teams did, and they're starting to kind of catch up to it.
That's the other thing. That's like the most logical thing, right? It's like, yeah, the other teams have caught up. It's almost like when you come out in football in the second half and you're making adjustments because you saw what they're putting out in the first half.
Right.
It's the most logical thing. I just like the conspiracy route where NASCAR's behind the scenes telling who can win and who can't. That's a lot more fun. That's what I want to come onto your show and talk about. Just conspiracies.
I mean, we can do it. We do a lot of we had a big what if episode where we talked about shit like that. And it was all conspiracies. Yeah, it was all like IndyCar silenced everyone after the Tony Renna crash and stuff like that. So we can definitely
do like DMT and triple talk about the world and
do something. I'll make a tinfoil hat.
Expand our minds. Yeah, no, that'd be a lot of fun. So I was just thinking about that. Like, I'm trying to think of predictions for this race, and I started thinking, I was like, well, Kyle Larson hasn't won in a little bit. You know, it's been a minute, and
fair, it's been 3 weeks.
Well, I was gonna say, just a couple weeks ago, I was picking him every single week because he was winning every single week. But it's been 3 weeks now, and so I started thinking, I was like, well, I mean, should I pick him? Will NASCAR allow him to win again, or do I need to hold out a little bit longer?
I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I think that's legit what's happening. I think there's a lot more to the story behind the scenes than we're ever told.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason that Larson is winning every single week and then all of a sudden he's not, other than just something happening there. You know what I mean? If he was getting wrecked or, you know, DNFing, like that makes perfect sense. But he's not. He's just like not competing for the win anymore.
Yeah.
And that's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Did you listen to Dale Jr.'s podcast with Jimmy Spencer? Where Jimmy said, I saw behind the scenes, and he was talking about his comments after the 2001 Pepsi 400 when he came out and said, I think this race was fixed. Junior's supposed to win, yada, yada.
Oh, I heard about that. I have not listened to it. Yeah.
And so Jimmy comes out and says, well, the only reason I said that is because I've seen behind the curtain and I see how NASCAR runs, and that's something that they do. And so I don't know if that was just a Bill Jr. thing or if it was a Bill and Brian France thing, but I mean, Jim France is still up there in the high chair in the office. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean,
that's another fair point.
Yeah. I mean, they got busted cheating. There's stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet. That would be a good point too.
Yeah.
Comments are lighting up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that I've talked to people in the dirt racing world, that go to local tracks and, they know NASCAR guys and stuff like that. And I've heard from a lot of them, like, the sport you watch is fixed. It's almost 100% fixed. And I'm just like, no. But when I hear it from enough people, I'm like, oh, shit. Is it really? Is that what I'm watching?
It's seeming more like WWE now, where, I mean, the matches are real. Maybe the chair shots are real, but the whole thing is scripted anyway. So, like, the wrecks are real and, and the passes are real. But in the end, NASCAR already knows at least who their top 5 is going to be.
Well, and here's the thing. Even if we sound like crazy conspiracy theorists right now, and we're totally wrong, which is very possible and probably more likely, the one thing that we know as a fact is we have a charter system, and there's certain equipment that's going to win every week and the rest of the equipment that just won't no matter what.
Right.
I mean, it's just gotten to the point that, like, even if it's not fixed, we know who's going to win just based on the teams they're on, their equipment they're in. And it's hard for anybody else to catch up because of this charter system.
And another thing, it always seems like once a year, there's a big team that kind of misses the mark. This year, it's Stewart-Haas. Mm-hmm. We see the whole team struggling. A couple years ago, it was Hendrick. We saw the whole team struggle for, half, 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
None of the other Fords are struggling. Penske's going out there winning races, shit like that. Matty D's running good. All the other Fords are running good. It's just Stewart-Haas. So it kind of makes you wonder after last year, Harvick's 9 wins, if something ain't going on behind the scenes where they're, slapping Stewart-Haas on the wrist for stinking up the damn show. Same with Denny Hamlin. It was Hamlin and Harvick all last year, and now they're kind of sitting back. They haven't won a race yet, either of them.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, something happened with Stewart-Haas. Conspiracy aside, something happened to that team.
It's more than just missing the setups.
Right. Yeah. The whole team is not performing, and they have one of the most talented drivers out there. I hate Kevin Harvick, but he's definitely one of the most talented drivers out there every single week, no doubt. So also, I mean, people are shitting on Eric Almirola, but I think he's a better driver than he's been performing this season.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. And we love to give Jacob shit but I mean, he's like 28th in points right now.
He's so bad.
I know he's better than that. Yeah. He's behind like some guys that you're kind of questioning. You're sitting there like, how the fuck is,
Eric's a guy that can usually point in his winning the playoffs.
Yeah. If not,
like, that's what he does.
Super close. Yeah.
Right. That's what he does. He'll point in his way in the playoffs. He's always one of those consistent kind of under the radar guys that you're like, he had that many top 10 finishes this year.
Yeah.
That's Eric Almirola. So I know we've been shitting on Almirola all season, but something else is going on behind the scenes with that whole team. It's very odd. They're usually a lot better than this. I don't know. I mean, Dakota's not here, so I don't know if we can do that at the line unless you wanted to randomly, just for fun, put some names together and we can try to pick them off. I mean, that's technically what Dakota does anyway. But before we get into that, I'll let you prepare a little bit. Did want to mention this episode is brought to you by Yeats. Look at those.
Still waiting on mine.
Oh, are you? Are you still waiting on yours?
Yeah.
Right here in the Still got them in the package. I told you. Look at that. Yeah, give me your address because you actually still owe me something.
I did send you my address.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did I send you mine?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, it doesn't count then yet.
Fans are still my glasses.
Yeah. There you go. Wow, that's okay. Is she from Wyoming?
No.
Okay, I was like, you're named Cheyenne and you're from Wyoming. That would be like naming your kid like Dallas or Houston and you're from Texas. You don't see it very often. Yeah, dude, I have a whole thing of just Yeats lying around right here. So I need to be doing more giveaways, to be honest. I'm just too lazy.
You need to
And
make one giveaway I won.
Well, you know what's really going to bug you is I already shipped out the one to the Instagram winner. He's already receiving his. So, yeah, I'll definitely get you these. And then when you get them, you'll have to come back on the pod. And then we can all three be wearing our Yeats together. We are brought to you by Yeats. The link is in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, I don't know if it is, but it's in my bio. Just find it. Stop being lazy. They're really affordable sunglasses. They're like $40, and you get 10% off with our discount code Chairgatin. Super, super simple. Just buy some. Stop being a loser. Also, they got some new ones on there. I just saw with like American flags on them and shit like that. New like summer series ones that I actually might pick up a couple. They're pretty sweet. We're also brought to you by Yeti. No discount code there, but we do have a link. So if you're gonna buy a Yeti cup or a tumbler or something, like we all got one, just click the link. Help support the podcast because we're broke as shit. I mean, look at Colton. He's in his kitchen. God, just feel bad for that guy, you know? Lives out in Wyoming. Yep. Rough life.
Yep.
So anyway, did you want to get into the picks that you have put together?
Yeah.
You're so just now going to put together.
I got 5 of them here at the line. First one, we're going to start off with the 2 guys that dominated all last year that are both pretty damn good at New Hampshire. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Who you got?
I mean, you instantly want to go Harvick because it's New Hampshire. I mean, I think he has 3 or 4 wins here. The dude just tears it up here. But as we just mentioned, I don't know if it's conspiracy or what, that team cannot put it together this year. Denny Hamlin should have had like 6 wins by now. I don't know what's going on with him. So it's kind of tough. But Denny has also won here recently. I got to go Denny just because the equipment and the team he's on. I think they can actually at least put together a win. Harvick just can't do it.
I'm the opposite. I'm going to go with the 4.
Why is that?
I mean, he's been turning on those last few weeks. Denny's kind of been quiet. I think this is his time. He's going to go nab that win right before the playoffs.
I have said that like 3 or 4 times this season. I'm done saying it's his time. I have said that so many times to Dakota. Like, this is if he doesn't do it this week, he's never doing it. If he doesn't do it, I keep saying that. I'm done. I've said it about Harvick so many times. I'm going Denny.
Yeah, maybe you were his bad juju.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Battle of the Gibbs. 19 of Martin Truex versus Kyle Busch.
That's a tough one because Martin Truex does well here, but he does well at every track. That's just such a cop-out, you know? We could go to any track, and I would pull up his average finishes there. But I'm going to have to go Kyle Busch because, like I said, if Larson is not allowed to win right now because NASCAR won't allow it, it's going to be like the Kyle Busch show again. So I'm going to have to go Kyle Busch just because I think he could probably win this race. If he doesn't win, then maybe Martin, but I think Kyle Busch could legitimately win this race.
Just to spite you, be devil's advocate.
Yeah, I knew you were going to. You just want to be contrarian. Okay, what's your excuse?
I think they're both super quick this year. Martin's already got several wins. He's really good at the flatter tracks, especially the New Hampshires, the Richmonds, things like that. We saw him almost win Richmond earlier this year, dominate the last half of that race. I think he'll get it done. I mean, his main competition is going to be the 18, but that'll be interesting. I think Martin will get it done.
I mean, of the 4 options you've given so far, all could be right.
Right.
Honestly. You could argue either way for any of them. So, yeah, you've been giving me some tough ones.
Next one, I got your guy, Austin Dillon, against the 21 of Matty D.
Oh, you're such a dick. You're such a dick. I mean, Austin's not bad here. He finished last.
You got 11th last year.
13th.
13th.
Yeah. Man. I'm wearing the goddamn 3 hat, but I have to go Matty D just because he did do really well here last year. And as you said, whenever he knows he's losing his ride, I think he steps his shit up. There's been a lot of news about him right now because we know who's taking his ride. We already kind of knew like that was going to happen. I know he was like fighting for a while, but it's official. He's losing the ride. I think this is his best opportunity to show every other team out there like, hey, I can do something.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think he's got 3 real chances to win a race this year. I think this is one of them because he does run well here, and he's got a fire under his ass this week, more so than probably the next few weeks. Talladega's another one, and then Bristol's another one. So any of them, toss it in the air. I think he's going to be.
Yeah, those are fair.
Next one, I got super hot. Kurt Busch coming off his win in Atlanta versus Joey Logano.
Joey Logano, lights
What?
out. Yep. Kurt Busch
lighting it up, dude.
Kurt Busch is gonna chill the fuck out, dude. He got his win. Watch. He's gonna chill out. Okay.
No, I'm going Kurt.
Okay. All right.
Going Kurt.
I'm gonna remember this. I know Joey's been struggling. I lost money because of Joey Logano. Because all I needed, I mean, to be fair, I won overall because I put a lot on Reddick. I'm a fucking genius, I know. But I put some money. All Joey Logano had to do was finish better than Blaney. And, you know, the odds were really good because Blaney fucking won there. But I for some reason, I was like, Blaney's not going to do it again. And he didn't, but Joey did even worse. I was like, you son of a bitch. And at one point in stage 3, he was past fucking Blaney. It was right when the rain was about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
It was right when the rain was about to come out. Reddick was like in the position I needed him to be in, and then Joey, and I was like, oh, please fucking rain. I didn't get it, so
you were like Almirola leading, like he's like, it's pouring in turn 1, yeah.
Let's go, end the race.
Yeah, you're calling NASCAR like it's fucking pouring right there. You can't see shit.
Kurt's like, dude, it's sunny. Shut the
Yeah, every other spotter's like, I don't know what you're talking
Here's
about.
the thing, I get it though. I would do the same fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
100%. He needed that to happen. I mean, good for him. It was a ballsy move. You know, they took their chance. So I have a hard time picking Joey Logano for that reason. But I think Kurt's the kind of dude that's going to chill out a little bit after that win. He got a lot of hype. I think he's just on easy street for a little bit.
I mean, if you're hot, you might as well ride it. And, I mean, he doesn't have shit to lose. Equipment's null and void after this year anyway if they're going to the next gen. So, I mean, it's not like you're just going to, you know, cost a chip a whole bunch of money. At most, he's just going to scrap the fucking car. They probably already got 6 of them lying around.
Yeah. We'll see. I just watch. I do not. We're going to fucking clip this after Kurt wins again. But I don't think he's going to do it this week. And I'm going to feel like an idiot when we have to clip this.
All right.
How wrong I was.
I'll put a 5 on it that Kurt beats Joey.
No, I'm just going to go to my bookie and waste my money that way. That's a lot better for me.
Last one I got here. I got a shit show. Eric Almirola versus Cole Custer. Who's going to finish 25th? Who's going to finish?
That is a shit show.
Yeah. Jacob, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Almirola finished 7th here. Oh, Cole Custer finished 8th. God damn it. You son of a bitch. That was really good. I mean, I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm going to go Cole Custer. Eric Almirola is out of his ride. I mean, I don't know how he keeps it at this point.
See, I'm going to go AA.
Okay.
I think we I
would like for him to do well.
Yeah, he's a guy that will sneak out a good finish once in a while. This
year though. Not this year.
It might be
talking about last year, Eric Almirola.
Hey, Trevor Bayne won a Daytona 500, dude. Anything can
Come on. That's the worst example.
That's a great example.
That's a Daytona 500. That's the Daytona 500. Michael McDowell won it this year. That is a terrible example.
Michael McDowell won a Daytona 500, dude. Anything can happen.
At Daytona, anything can happen. This is not Daytona.
Yeah.
It's New Hampshire.
Weirder shit has happened.
No, not really.
Yeah, really.
What would be weirder than Eric Almirola with the season he's had this year, with what we've seen, Eric Almirola getting a legit win here. Legit earned win. No fuel, no nothing. No, I mean, outraced everybody.
Just wheeling it the fuck out.
What would have been weirder in your memory from NASCAR than that?
Give me a minute. I'll fucking think of something. Give me a minute. I'll think of something. Yeah.
See, I don't see it happening. I mean, neither of those guys are going to win. No offense to either one of them. It's not been Eric's year, man. He is just, I know the joke was always like, oh, guy can't catch a break. That's been his whole career. But this season, like, for real, dude can't catch a break.
I fucking got one. Okay. Jamie McMurray winning in his second career start, filling in.
All right, yeah. Once you said his name, too, I was like, okay, that one was pretty fucking crazy.
Paul Menard, Brickyard 400, man.
All right. That's I don't know. Okay, that might have been crazier, yeah. Because Eric Amarola, at least we know he can be a good driver. I think that's the
Right.
one thing is we have seen him as a talented driver plenty of times, which is just so sad for his career to kind of fizzle out like
Yeah.
this. It's rough to see. I mean, Ryan Newman,
Yeah.
man, poor guy. I mean, we've seen a lot out of that guy, but look at his career now. Which I think just leads right into the next topic of discussion is I wanted to spend the rest of this episode, however long it takes, to go over and update everybody on what's been going on silly season. Usually, halfway through the season, I would not be talking about silly season. People would be like, why are you talking about silly season? We're halfway through the fucking season. Playoffs haven't even started yet. I'm talking about it because this is the silliest of silly
fucking
season.
Nuts. Yeah.
We are so silly right now. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, we got to chill, I think. This is getting a little crazy. We're used to like one driver change and we're like, whoa. If it's like a big driver, people freak out. Smaller teams like Spire and all them, we'll see them change, but this has just been insane.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fucking bombshell every week, it seems like. For like the past month, we've heard some new just get nuked on us. If y'all are watching right now in the comments, drop rumors that you've heard. Don't just make shit up and be like,
yeah, that's true.
I think Denny Hamlin's going to go drive the 77. But like,
if we do want to discuss rumors,
fucking drop it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do want to discuss rumors. I have a couple listed on here. And I only say that because whatever rumors you drop, I'm just going to take full credit for because I can be like, oh, that was the one I already had written down. But I mean, let's just start with, we talked about this a lot, but Trackhouse purchased Chip Ganassi. Like I said, we've heard all these things. I just kind of want to go over them again, just to let everybody know where we're at in the world of NASCAR right now. Trackhouse, Pitbull, Dale, purchased Chip Ganassi. Should they rename it Dale Motorsports?
I mean, fucking
Dale Racing?
Yeah.
Something?
I'd buy a shirt. Yeah.
It would be Dale with the little accent.
Oh, yeah, the little E, yeah.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
It'd be better if Pitbull was partnered with Dale Jr.
Oh,
Dale Motorsports, dude. That'd be
Dale with the accent. Dale Jr.
Yeah.
Dale Jr. Motorsports. All right, I'm adding that to the rumors list. We just created a new.
We created a rumor. Yeah, Pitbull and Justin Marks.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Talk about merchandising opportunity.
For real.
Come on, Pitbull, because one of the rumors on here it was about Dale Jr., which we will get to. That's in the rumor section. So we know that Suarez, we've discussed this in the podcast. I've broken down kind of the situation. They were leasing the 99. They're giving that back. So they're not taking the 99 car. They're just taking the two charters, which are numbers. Dakota was confused by this. The charter means you're purchasing the number itself.
Yep.
So Chip Ganassi cars, you will see the same numbers. Like it is that they're just changing. It's not Chip Ganassi, it's Trackhouse. So you're going to see the same numbers out there. Obviously, there's going to be changes with sponsorship and crews and drivers, everything, but the numbers stay the same. So Suarez will be in one of those cars.
Yep.
We don't know what. I mean, after that, I guess I could technically add this to rumors, but we do know for a fact that Kurt and Ross are on that team right now, and at least one of them won't be there because they want to keep Daniel Suarez.
Right. So that's going to be the interesting part is to see. I mean, right now Kurt's in the lead, in my opinion, unless he's got something else working on the back half there. Kind of behind
it's even a question at this point. Come on, it's Kurt Busch. He's a championship driver.
Yeah, and if you're a new team, you want someone like Kurt Busch who's turned around multiple teams already. In your garage, working with your guys to show them how to do things correctly.
Do you want to know how bad the equipment is that Kurt's in right now? It's this bad. When Kurt, just last year, Kurt was teammates with Kyle Larson. Kurt was outrunning Kyle Larson every single week. Kyle fucking Larson. We're seeing what Kyle can do in good equipment now. Just think about how good Kurt has actually been doing on that team when you think about that. That's wild.
Well, I mean, I'm still in the boat that Kurt's still good enough, maybe not this year, but I mean, the equipment's a huge factor to go out and win a championship. I'd probably argue that.
If he was in prime equipment,
yeah.
If he was in prime equipment, I think he's one of the most talented drivers. I've been saying that for a long time. I think people underestimate him because he's been hopping around a lot of teams lately. He's been in subpar teams, subpar equipment, and he'll get like one win a season. It's like, yeah, but he's in equipment that doesn't deserve a win at all.
Right.
You know, like he does do really well in his shit equipment. So, yeah, I don't think it's even a competition. Nothing against Ross. Apparently Jacob doesn't like Ross. I didn't know anybody didn't like Ross Chastain. I don't know how you don't like him. I've met him. He's a super nice guy. I mean,
yeah. I mean, when he was in the Xfinity series, I bought a watermelon every couple of weeks just in case he won.
There you go.
Smash it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. He's a nice guy. He's, the Cinderella story. We want to see him succeed because he can talk about a guy that can't catch a break. I mean, that guy, if he gets kicked out of this now, I mean, he's the most cursed driver in NASCAR.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like he does bad either.
No.
I at least understand Matty D's. Like, he kind of doesn't perform wherever he goes. He's doing a little bit better. But Ross has been kicking ass these last few weeks, too. You wouldn't think of that from a rookie driver.
Right. Well, is he a rookie driver?
I consider him to be.
I mean,
his first real opportunity. Other than that, he's just kind of like bounced around, shit cars here and there.
Well, what was the was it DC Solar?
Yep.
That was technically his first real opportunity. If that wasn't like a Ponzi scheme or whatever that was, that was awesome. I mean, awesome for drama in NASCAR. Yeah, poor guy can't catch a break. His only hope is that Kurt has a deal somewhere else. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And that's Kurt's style. He will up and leave to go somewhere else. He has no loyalty. I mean, he will just peace out. Yeah. Doesn't matter about manufacturer. I mean, he'll go wherever,
Yeah, and he'll take Monster with him. He don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him.
I'm taking my money. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta respect that. Monster's been riding with him the whole way through. So yeah, good for him. So that's number one on silly season. We'll see what happens there. That one's still up in the air. After that, some smaller kind of news. Justin Haley is now going to be in the Cup Series. I feel like nobody's talking about this.
Yeah.
Is it still going to be in the 77? Like, how does that work?
No. Because the 77's for Spire. I think they're going to take it and they're going to change that number to the 16 and then whatever other number they decide to bring up. Obviously, if they can't do the 10, they can't do the 11. But they'll find out. Maybe they run 16, 61 or something. He'll run a colleague number.
Okay. Well, because this is the first time in the Cup Series, right?
Colleague?
Yeah.
They just run a part-time deal with AJ right now.
Right. So will they get all new? Because did they purchase a charter? So is this going to be like an entirely new number for them?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know how that's going to work, to be honest. Yeah. It very well could be. They're going to buy the 70, or they bought the 77 charter. So they're probably going to do whatever the hell they want with it. Being that it is theirs, and I don't see Matt Colleague just leasing it or selling it to someone else.
So why wouldn't they just run the 77 if they bought it?
Because, I mean, that's Aspire. It's not a Colleague number. I don't see Matt Colleague taking someone else's number and just changing the font.
But if you bought the charter, then you bought the number. So, like...
Right. So why not change it to the 16?
I mean, it's the same thing with Trackhouse running the 42 and the 1.
But they could change it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that a couple times already where a team will buy a charter.
Don't you have to buy the rights for the other number, though?
Yeah, and that's what 2311 did, was they got the 23. And I think it's an availability thing. Like, as long as the number's available, you can get it. And I don't know about buying the rights, but I know you can claim rights.
I mean, legally, I think you'd have to purchase like rights or something. You'd have to.
Who are they going to purchase rights for a number from? I don't think NASCAR just owns a number.
Do you think every single number is available? I don't think so. I feel like every number is taken and somebody owns it.
No, because that was our season.
So why don't me and you buy a number? Fuck it.
Well, we could buy a number, but we don't have a charter.
So I just
Who are
want
you
to
gonna
own
buy
the
a
number.
number from, right?
I just want to own a number, and then when somebody wants that number, when they inevitably be run out, I'll be like, 50 mil for the last number.
Like the fucking the Washington football team, how the
Yeah, I
trademark
just
all
want
the names.
I
Yeah,
want to trademark like a number with
every available
font,
number, we're gonna claim it. Yeah,
with every font possible, and like
yeah.
I own it now. And so when they're run out of numbers, you got to come talk to me.
Come talk to Chairgatin.
Yeah,
Sponsor the podcast. Yeah.
business genius. So yeah, Justin Haley's moving to the Cup. I mean, I think nobody's really talking about it because like, what's there to talk about when we got so much other shit to talk about? No offense to Justin Haley, but
And we saw this one coming. I mean, let's be honest. Colleagues been talking about this for a couple of years that they want to move to Cup. Justin Haley was their guy. I mean, obviously they're not going to move up with Jeb Burton. AJ Allmendinger's old. Sorry, AJ. And they're bringing him up for. I mean, I assume
a select
organization, right?
They say select races.
Yeah. So I mean, we all know what that means.
Probably.
That means road courses, right?
Daytona.
And then, yeah, probably Daytona. A few other ones just to kind of get the feet underneath the team. But Justin Haley's their guy. I mean, they've rode with him ever since Blake Cook retired. He's the one that they want to develop.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not much to say there other than they bought, I think, 2 charters. So they are a Cup Series team. Just they might just be one of those kind of teams. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think we know what kind of team we're referring to. Brad K. I mean, I wrote on here to the 6. They haven't technically announced, what number he's driving, but that kind of goes into the rumor thing. Is like where is he going? But he will be a part owner of Roush Fenway. Have they announced what they're renaming that, or are they keeping it the same name? I don't know.
I haven't heard anything from him yet. I haven't even heard what numbers they're running. What the name's going to be, if they're staying Roush Fenway. I'd assume they're going to change it to something. I
mean, Hendrick didn't change anything with Gordon coming on.
Yeah, but it's still owned by Hendrick.
Does Gordon not have any kind of ownership in that?
I don't think he has ownership. I think he's just
I thought he had some kind of ownership deal. Maybe not.
Maybe he does, because I know Rick has came out and said that when he retires, he's handing the torch off to Gordon.
Right.
So this may be one of those deals where they're just kind of grooming Keselowski, as gross as that term is, into becoming an owner.
It was only gross because of CSI, all right? Before those shows, that was a fine fucking term. Yeah, so...
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. But, I mean, Bob Hocker supported it. If he reports it, it's going to happen, right?
Well, and when they initially asked Brad, he laughed and said I can't say anything.
Come on. And I assume they're waiting until August. That's kind of the rumor I've heard, is that August is when they'll come out and say everything.
I mean, Brad has officially lost his ride next year. So if it's not official, he is fucked.
Yeah, we're seeing him in Busch Series. Yeah,
right. We know it's happening because
20 Xfinity car, Brad Keselowski. Let's do it.
Yeah. So Brad is. I mean, it's official. Brad's going to Roush Fenway. Don't add Keselowski to that fucking team name. You already have 2 names on there. We can't have Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. That's absurd.
Roush Lasky or Roush
Lasky.
Yeah.
Roush Lasky way.
Yeah. His way, Roush Racing.
Yeah, no. Just keep the name the same, honestly. Brad, you can be the sole owner of it. And if you become sole owner, just rename it Roush again. That's what it should have been the whole time. The Fenway thing was stupid. Should just be Roush. So he will be at least some kind of team owner there, and it seems likely he's going to be going to the 6. That seems like the likely route. Well,
and see the comment from Chris, RFR has probably got a 3rd charter. I haven't heard rumors about that. Honestly, it wouldn't fucking surprise me. With how many charters are being bought and sold this year. If they bought a 3rd charter.
From who?
We've heard rumors of Rick Ware getting a charter strip from him at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Maybe they're already in talks with NASCAR about that. Maybe they're leasing it from someone else.
Yeah.
Another big rumor.
I don't think they'll lease a charter though. They're in the ownership business, not the leasing business.
I mean, another big rumor. I don't know what your itinerary is. Was that Petty was going to be sold at the end of the year?
So I wanted to bring them up in a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I have a lot to.
Okay.
This episode I hope doesn't go too long.
For now, yeah.
Moving on though with the Brad K's, Austin Cindric is officially confirmed as of today, wasn't it?
Yep.
Was it this morning or yesterday?
Yep.
I lose track of days. I work recently. And I do this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Colton, you understand. Colton, what do you do for a living?
I drive a forklift. I actually work for Magpul. We make gun accessories. Yep.
That's so Wyoming, and it's badass. I love it. I love how Wyoming you are, Colton.
Yeah.
I need to come visit. I should have been coming. What was it? This weekend? Is that?
No, the 23rd is when it starts. So a week from tomorrow.
Us rodeo guys, man. If you want, take you to the Houston rodeo. Come down.
I'm down. You want to know super Wyoming is that my neighbor has chickens, and we're like not even out of town. We're in a fucking suburb.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like that. We have that shit in Texas, but
no,
like in our we have like cities here. I think that's the big difference is we have really good Mexican food and we have cities, and y'all have snow. I think those are the differences. Yeah, those are the main differences between Wyoming and Texas. So anyone watching the episode, there you go. You got a little education about cowboy states. Austin Cindric confirmed going to the 2. How do you feel about this? This is the big one.
I saw it coming. I mean, to be honest, it was either you keep Matty D in that 21 and send Austin to the 2, or you move Matt D to the 2 and send Austin to the 21, which was rumored last year. And that was kind of their game plan. But after Matt D was performing, it doesn't surprise me at all. They're just going to move Cindric up. And his dad's a competition director at Penske. His dad does some sort of super important role. Give the kid the 2 car. I mean, he's kind of the pride and joy of that organization moving forward, I think.
This was expected. Yeah. I mean, we knew eventually he was going to get to this spot. If he had to go through the 21 first and wait a little bit, they wanted Brad out. Brad wanted out. We've known that for years. I'm surprised it took this long because Brad and Penske have been teasing a divorce for a while now. Right. So we knew that was coming, and we knew Cindric was coming. We weren't sure how that was going to line up. I think they were. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the plan to put him in the 21 for next year? Yep. Plan was
to do like a Christopher Bell thing, put him in the 21 for a year or two, and then move him to Penske. But I think even at that, they were planning on Brad K moving out.
Yeah. I think it was going to be the 21 was just their buffer time if Brad wanted to stay like one more season or something. Here's an interesting one too. I don't know why Reddick wouldn't be happy at RCR. I mean, he's been performing really well, but RCR will be discussed in rumors. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get to them and Petty. I mean, those are the 2 big ones that I want to talk about. Complete rumors, by the way. Complete rumors, nothing substantial. But the other news is, obviously Matty D is out of his ride, as we've discussed. Some people are happy. Some people are like, well, he's overrated. He never deserved the ride anyway. Where do you sit on that fence? And also stop sitting on a fence. Just choose a side.
Me? I don't sit on fences. Yeah, I mean, it sucks for Matty D. Even when I watched his video, he came out and said the team had issues, which, I mean, you could probably see. And then last few weeks, they made leadership changes going into this year, and they've really started to click, and you can see it. I mean, he came out and led laps at Road America. Who would have fucking thought that Matt D would have led laps at a road course? Yeah. I mean, so he's moving in the right direction. It sucks he got kicked out. But at the same time, you're in the Penske garage. Like the 21 is built right next to the 2 and the 22. It's not like a little satellite team like the 78 was to Joe Gibbs. Right. You got to perform if you're racing for Roger Penske at that point. So, I mean, it was to be expected, but I still feel bad for the dude.
Yeah, I think I was trying to find it. Here it is. Steve Carnes. Steve Carnes on Twitter? Yep. I really liked his tweet. This, I think, summed it up. Harrison's funding over Matt's smile.
Yeah.
I mean, that at the end of the day, It's the same reason Matty D lost his ride with Levine Family Racing.
Yep.
I interviewed Bob Pockris after they made that decision, like right afterwards. I think it was like a week or two after. And I asked him, what went into that decision. And he was like, I loved working with him, but he just couldn't bring the funding like Bell could, and I have to go with, even if he's younger and less experienced, I mean, the kid's going to bring funding and he's talented. So I think that sums it up. I don't know if I'm fully on board with people saying like he never deserved the ride. He's the most overrated guy, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I'm on board with that either, because like you said, I've seen a lot of performance out of him. I know. What was it? Jacob saying like, well, the 21 is pretty much just a Penske ride. I mean, it is not. That's not fair to claim.
It's not a Penske ride. It's built in the same garage, but I mean, you'd be an idiot to think that they're getting Penske parts and everything like that.
That's like saying Trackhouse, the 99 ride, is an RCR car. It's not.
It's not. It's better.
No, it's not. It is not better than RCR. And I should say it's better because that would make my drivers look better, but it's not. I mean, when you're a ride like that, you're not getting what the actual team is getting. Let's be real. So the 21, he didn't have the equipment like the 22 or the 12 or the 2. I don't think he was the most overrated driver. I think if there's a team out there that needs a solid driver, I think he can be it. But it was inevitable, Harrison Burton. I mean, they were already getting rid of him, and I think they saw young babyface Harrison Burton, and they were like, we got to grab him before somebody else does.
Yeah. And the money is a huge part of it too. I mean, Benedetto's still writing off Paul Menard's money. I mean, if I'm living at parents' house and I'm not paying bills, you're probably going to get kicked out.
Yeah, that's a good point. So got some more rumor talk. All right, let's just get into rumors.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody wants rumors. Yeah, okay. So rumors number one was, Newman likely out of his ride. That's not really a rumor. That's pretty confirmed. But 2311, there's been a lot of rumors of 2311 possibly adding a ride. I don't know what else you've heard about this. I know early on, Kurt claimed that they called him, which I think sparked the whole conversation, was Kurt saying like, well, they called, we've talked about it. And we know they're not getting rid of Bubba because he's the gravy train. Why would you get rid of that guy, even if he doesn't perform? Which I have stated he's done maybe better than I thought he would this year. That's not saying much. I thought he would lose like every fucking race, but he has done a little bit better. And he's the gravy train. He's going to get you all the sponsor dollars. So why would you get rid of that guy?
Right.
But I think Michael Jordan wants to actually win a fucking race at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of fueled the whole Trackhouse deciding to buy Chip Ganassi rather than just buying a single charter and going from there. Is because of Kurt. If they heard that 2311 was trying to get Kurt and Trackhouse kind of wanted him, why would you not buy the team that he's already on? Yeah,
guarantees you the 2 charters. Yeah, I mean, problem solved. Yeah. Rather than have to try to pick up another. They were leasing 99 anyway, so it makes sense. But I mean, 2311 owns the 23 charter, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think they're leasing. I think they own it. So they need to purchase another charter, which they could do from like a Spire or somebody, like a smaller team.
Yeah, from a Rick Ware. I mean, Denny's got money. He's Oprah rich. So
no one's Oprah rich.
Michael Jordan's definitely Oprah rich.
Okay, there you go. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan and Oprah. Yeah, I mean, I it would make sense to see them buy another charter. And then we'd have to think who drives it. My thing is, if they buy another charter, and I know it was just rumored right there in the comments, Matty D going to 2311. If they buy another charter, like, do you really want to put Matty D in there? Like I said, he's a fine enough driver, but they have Bubba. They're not winning any races on that team. They probably never will with Bubba, to be completely honest, unless it's at Daytona or Talladega. I'm just being real. Yeah. If they buy another charter and invest all of that, they need a guy that can actually at least win races for the team. I mean, It would have to be like a Kurt, right?
Of who's available, if Kurt already has deals in the work in 23-11,
Ryan Newman
passes on, I wouldn't pick Newman. No,
I know, right? I think I'd rather take Matty D at this point.
Matty D's probably a damn good fit. I mean, we've seen what he can do in the 21 car, and we've already discussed it's not a Penske ride. He's been close a few times. He's came out and led laps. He might not be a terrible choice, and he's kind of an older guy. He's been with several teams.
How much are you willing to spend to get a guy like Tyler Reddick? You have to buy out the contract.
That's a big question. Yeah. I mean,
I think I said even in Xfinity that he might be the most talented like driver in the future from his class out of Xfinity because they had a lot of really good drivers out of there. But I mean, RCR picking him up was like the best move they could have done. He is a guy that if you, I think, get him in good equipment, he can get you a win. And he's young as hell.
Oh yeah, and he'll get funding eventually if he doesn't already have it. Tyler's one of those dudes. I bet. I mean, he's super short. I bet he weighs 130 pounds, and his balls are probably 60 pounds of that. He does.
And they're covered in red hair. Yeah. His fucking redhead. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a huge fan.
I don't know.
I'd hate to see him leave, but
once every 5 years or so, we have a big contract year in NASCAR where a whole bunch of contracts run out.
Right.
If 23-11 does buy a charter, I don't see him necessarily buying out another contract. I see him waiting for that next big opportunity and just kind of filling the seat. Because we know they can put the bills, right? Bubba's got enough funding. They can swap sponsors kind of like the Penske guys do, where you'll say, all right, well, you're going to be on the cars this week for Bubba and then these weeks for Reddick. So, I mean, or Matty D, right? It wouldn't be a terrible thing to split up sponsors like that.
Wait, who's
he is a free agent? I didn't know that. I thought his
contract
was released till next year. Yeah.
What? Oh, RCR is dumb if they only did that short of a contract. Yeah, that might not be good for RCR. But speaking of RCR, there's another big one. I saw it just kind of float around. I don't know if there's any kind of backing behind this rumor. The rumor essentially was presented that we've all known that Dale Jr. wants to get into the Cup Series. He's talked about this a lot. So we know that he's interested, but he said like the money's not right. He's just not ready yet, which by the way, if Dale Earnhardt Jr. doesn't have the money to get in the Cup Series, like I don't know who does, because how can he not afford it? I mean, I don't know. He does his thing, but the rumor essentially was that they would buy RCR.
Right.
Have you heard this?
I've heard that one. I've even commented on it. I mean, I think it's perfect. Dale Jr. is the perfect guy to keep on that RCR legacy because of his obvious ties with his dad. If there is a kernel of truth to this, I don't see anyone but Dale Jr. buying it.
So here's my take, and I'm a fucking genius, so everything I say is going to be right. If there's a kernel of truth to this, as Colton just mentioned, we know that he has discussed the only reason he's not in the Cup Series right now is because of funding.
Right.
Why all of a sudden would he buy a 2 charter team if funding is his issue?
I don't think
so expensive.
I don't think funding is his issue. He's got money. He's just cheap.
Right. He's even going to buy a 2 charter.
If you can buy Richard Childress Racing.
I don't think so. Here's what I think. If there is a kernel of truth, here's what I think the real possibility is a part ownership. He buys like half the team and they do a part ownership like a Roush Fenway, turns in to Childress Earnhardt Racing, which is what we deserve.
I see that.
Day fucking one. That's what it should have always been. And how sick of a partnership would that be?
It would be. I mean, you also got to think of a huge variable in the whole Dale Jr. equation is his sister, is Kelly. She runs most of the business stuff.
She's the business,
yeah. So, I mean, if she says it's go time, Dale's going to do whatever she says because she's already gotten to this point.
And Dale gets you the funding and stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Dale's got money. I mean, if we're going to sit here and act like Dale couldn't afford it or doesn't want to spend that money, you'd be fucking lying to yourself because he could go out and sign a goddamn Wheaties deal and get pay that money right back, right?
Right.
You know,
I mean, I just think it would be the perfect partnership. And one of the reasons I was surprised to hear that is Richard started that team by himself, with his bare hands, signed Dale Earnhardt as the only driver he had. Let's be honest, like Richard had a failed racing career. That's why he became an owner. And it was just those two. And it just seems like, he definitely probably wants to retire soon, but he has his whole family working in the team now. It almost seems, I've been watching a lot of Yellowstone. It seems like one of those things where he's like, I want to pass something on to my family. I would just be surprised if he all of a sudden was like, you know what? Nah, fuck my family. I'm just going to sell. Like right before I retire.
And I don't think he'll do that.
That's the thing. That's why I think he would do some kind of like, you can purchase half of it or something.
That's why I keep saying if he sells, it's going to be to Dale Jr. because he gets it.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, yeah, you have the connection with the Earnhardts and the Childress family, or the Dillon family now, whatever the hell. Also, he'd probably do something like you have to keep Austin on for an X number of seasons, if this is the deal, which all that would make sense. And honestly, if that happens, I would fucking love it. I'm an RCR fan. I would love it. I think it'd be so cool.
100%.
Also, like Chris said in the comments, apparently the rumor is Tyler Reddick's not happy at RCR. I haven't heard that until that comment right there.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one at all either.
I haven't heard that at all. I mean, he's been running RCR for a long time. I mean, well, he got in that ride after Hemrick left in
19 in the Busch Series.
In the Xfinity Series?
Yeah. Sorry, I still call it Busch. I had to plug in my damn headphones here.
Yeah. Was it 18 or 19? Either way, yeah, it was around that time. So he's been with RCR for a while, from Xfinity up into Cup.
Right.
It'd be surprising if he's not happy. I also understand that he's a rising star and he wants to be in good equipment, but bringing on a guy like Junior onto the team, that's how you keep your drivers happy. I mean, that's
right. No, and Reddick raced for Junior.
Yep. Yeah.
Right before he signed to RC.
Yep. So that's the coolest rumor I've heard. I really like that rumor just because I'm an RCR fan and I'm a stan for that kind of shit. But another charter, I don't know if you have any other rumors. I'll wrap this one up. Another one that I just think keeps popping in my head of one that somebody should purchase, and because of ownership, nobody probably has. But Richard Petty.
Yep.
Whoa, your voice changed.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's thundering out super hard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Richard Petty. How has nobody bought that charter yet? Talk about buying an iconic number. Yeah. And it's just that ride. It's not like you're having to buy a whole team. You're buying one fucking, I mean, I'm sure it's expensive as hell, but you got the merchandising. You can pay it back.
Right. No, exactly. I don't see how this team wasn't already sold years ago. I mean, we did see the shift from Petty Enterprise to Richard Petty Motorsports. So, I mean, he's already given up a little bit of it, but I mean, to your point, exactly. I mean, this has been a struggling team for years, really since even before Petty left. They picked up, 3 wins since that? They got like John Andretti, Eric Almirola, and
they put talented drivers in the car. They do a really good job of, other than Bubba, I'm not a fan. I don't think he's talented. But, I mean, now they have Eric Jones. I mean, they get talented drivers, but they don't put any money back in that team. The equipment is just bottom tier, and it is such an iconic ride. I'm just surprised that they haven't sold yet, or nobody's at this point with everything going on, everything moving. I would have thought that ride would have been an early one to get picked up.
I mean, and you would think there's been a ton of shit that surprised me already. And I mean, to all the rumors, I wouldn't be surprised if this was already in work somewhere, and just hasn't been announced yet.
Well, check this out. This is my little continuation of my own conspiracy and rumor. Dale Jr. buys into RCR. They get extra funding and purchase the 43. And now it's a 3. They could run. They have like the 31 and the 29. But no, they want to get that 43. I mean, can you imagine? They have the 3, the 8, and the 43. I mean, that would be the merchandising gold.
Yep.
Because
Petty
they already have that partnership. So
yeah. No, I agree completely. We are putting on our tinfoil hats with this one because it's still, I mean, it's still just a Reddit rumor. I mean, I haven't heard much.
100%.
I mean, I know someone said it was from an SHR employee, but I mean, we know how many times we've heard that over the past few years that one employee who probably just fucking scrubs toilets came out and said it. You know, he's probably smoking a joint in the bathroom.
Or it wasn't even an employee and somebody just said that. I could say I heard it from an employee.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know if you have any other little rumors or
another crazy one that's kind of made its rounds as again from an SHR employee was that Harvick was looking to retire, and that
that's another one.
That's another big one. Harvick was looking to retire, and that I think he said Blaney was gonna buy his way into the ride or something.
Okay.
I don't.
That might be the dumbest one I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, Harvick retiring makes sense, but Blaney moving over to Stewart,
Why?
I don't see that one at all. He
sucks right now.
He's been affiliated with Penske since he came in to the Xfinity Series.
He's in great equipment. He's doing great. I imagine Penske loves him over there. He's young, talented, good for merchandising. You know, everything's perfect. I don't know why he would leave to join a shittier team.
Right. And another one that Chris brought up in the comments here was that AA may be out of SHR, and he's got a point. He does bring a ton of funding with him. Smithfield has shown that they'll follow him kind of wherever he goes.
Yeah, that's a good point. But do you want to take him? Like, I don't know. That's just
no.
Right.
Again, sorry, Jacob, but if I have an option to pick up Matty D or Eric Amarola, I mean, I'm picking Matty D.
But funding, like you said, you need the funding. At the end of the day, if you drive 20th, but you have a fully funded ride all season versus a guy that can finish in the top 5 but can't get funding, sorry, we're finishing 20th every fucking week.
We're getting the bills paid. Yep.
Because I can afford to put the car out there.
Yeah, exactly. And you can always, it's easier to gain more sponsors, at least for a race here and there, and fill in the gaps and kind of use that for better equipment than it is, I mean, to get that guy. It's a whole fucking mess with sponsors.
I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to put it on Matty D, but like maybe he should have been out there more, like promoting himself, trying to get more sponsors, like becoming a personality. Do you remember Tyler Reddick in Xfinity putting on wigs and dressing like Dolly Parton? Yeah, I mean that dude was trying at least. He's trying to get his name out there.
We miss. There was a whole era of nothing but NASCAR driver commercials, and we saw guys like Martin Truex when he was racing the damn 56 in commercials. Right, this dude had won one career race, and he was on TV every week.
Yep.
Now you only see the Kevin Harvicks, the Brad Keselowskis, and I don't even think I've seen a Brad Keselowski commercial in a while.
No, not.
But Denny, you see like the same 5 guys in commercials. I mean, you don't even see Chase Elliott on TV that much.
And those young guys coming up on TikTok and Twitter, though, that's the future. That's what you have to do. That's free advertisement. Ryan Vargas, he was on the show. Dude's got like millions of followers on TikTok, and TikTok literally sponsored him.
Right.
That's the type of shit you're gonna have to do now moving forward.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get, relationships with brands early on in your career, and multiple, not just one like Dale had with Goodwrench,
But I think you need to build up a social following. Like, you think fucking Natalie Decker is gonna have a problem getting sponsorships?
No.
Right. Yeah. I mean, why? Because look at her Instagram followers. She has like more followers than Dale Jr. probably. I mean, that's the type of shit you're going to have to do nowadays. Like, sorry, that's just part of the job at this point if you want to get in a quality ride. Yeah, it's confirmed more blonde girls in NASCAR. Hey, she's a brunette. Or I guess now. Yeah. Yeah, I heard Harvick might join. That was part of that rumor was he's going to retire, go into the booth, which he's good in the booth. I like him in there. He's not quite as clownish as Boyer is. I like the clownish Boyer. Everybody else fucking hates him. I think it's funny. I just think it's overdrawn. I think Fox played way too much into that whole Clint Boyer's a partier thing and try to make him do it every week. I don't think Fox had anything to do with that. I think Clint legit is that guy. He even said on Dale Jr.'s podcast, like he can do it at the first of the race, but they want him to keep the energy up and things like that. Nope. And it's hard for him to do. Like he kind of runs out of steam. And you can kind of tell during the broadcast. That's why him and Jeff joke around so much, I think. Right. Yeah. Well, anything can make Jeff Gordon laugh, so it doesn't take much. Yeah. I did like when Jeff was announcing, because I mean, fuck, that's part of silly season too. Everybody's leaving the booth. When Jeff announced that he was leaving, and Harvick was like, we can still look at each other and see each other face to face with or without Jeff there.
Yeah,
because he's so short. Fucking Clint Boyer, man. By the way, brought to you by Yeats. And if you get Yeats and a 3 hat and a mustache, you can almost look like Dale Earnhardt, like me right now.
I don't know about that,
dude.
If
if they were gold, like his gold ones.
No, I think you're about 40 pounds north of Dale.
Okay. That's probably fair. I don't know. He was packing it on a little bit there at the end.
It is a little plump, yeah, but I mean, he wasn't very tall either.
I'm not very tall.
He was only like 5'9", 5'10".
Okay, that's my height.
What? I'm not taller than you.
Yeah, apparently you are. I just told you my height.
Apparently I fucking am, yeah.
But me and Dale also like to whoop ass. So I think me and Dale, I might be his illegitimate son.
Yeah, kind of like a William Byron, Rick Hendrick thing.
Right. If I didn't look identical to my father, I would be his illegitimate son, unfortunately. Thanks a lot, Dad, you asshole.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. That's going to wrap it up. Brought to you by Yeats. Go to yeatsofficial.com. 10% off. Discount code at Chairgatin. By the way, we've been tearing it up. Our fans, just want to thank everybody because we have outsold all the other Belly Sports podcasts combined. We've outsold all of them.
That's because y'all have dope merch. I've even bought shit from you.
No, I'm saying with Yeats, but thank you for the dope merch shout out.
Oh, yeah, dope merch. But, and I mean, Yeats don't go with any sport better than NASCAR.
That's the thing. I think that's what it is. It's the audience. Yeah. We have these like fantasy football podcasts and stuff. And it's like, come on, dude, look at this. Yeah. This is what you rock Yeats with.
Peak 90s.
So I do want to thank everybody. We have been crushing it. Yeats is really excited. We're actually in the talks with him about like doing some legit stuff like at races, a lot of giveaways. We got a great relationship with them right now. So everybody, thanks for buying. Colton, I'm sending you a pair. So I don't want to thank you because you didn't buy them. Yeah. Colton, any other plugs you want to do before I cut you off?
Check out Fan Fuel. We got